Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello, learners. Are you okay? I hope you are okay. So you're welcome again to biology lesson. As usual, you're with Chocolate. This is Senior 5 class, Unit 15, which is immunosystem, vaccination, and the antibiotics. The lesson of today, it is about allergy and the antibiotics. So this is what we are going to deal with by today. And then what is the objective of the lesson? So what you should know at the end of this lesson. You should be able to describe the types of allergic response, or this is what we call also hypersensitive response. I hope you are ready. I hope you have your notebook where you can write some explanation, and then you enjoy. I hope you enjoy. So when we talk about this allergy, what do you understand about allergy? What do you understand about that? What do you understand about allergy? So have you seen sometime when you eat the food, sometimes that food is not the content, the nutrient that's found in that food, when it is in your body, sometimes they don't match. The proteins in our body, they start to what? To fight against the protein that's found in that food. So in that case, what's going to happen? You get what we call allergy. You get what we call allergy. You are going to have some rashes on the skin. So that shows that there is now the immunity have been responded, have been taken the nutrients in your food as what? As the foreign material, as the danger material that can harm our body. You see? Some people, for example, they don't eat meat. Once they eat meat, what's going to happen? They get what you call allergy. Others, they don't drink milk, you see? So once they get milk, they get allergy. You see? That's immunity is going now to respond. The protein that found in the milk, they are going to be taken by the antibodies of our body as what? As foreign material. Then they fight against them. Once they fight, the result is what? Is allergy. You see? Sometimes when the climate is changing, when it is cold, for example, sometimes we can have this for the people who has this kind of asthma. You can now start now to do what? To have a problem of that one. That's allergy. You see? Those particles, those substances that can provoke the allergic response, we call them allergens. We call them allergens. Allergens. You see? So now, nice. When we talk about allergic reaction, are seen when immoral and cell-mediated immune response to non-parasitic, non-pathogenic substances such as particular food, pollen, dust, fur, lead to extensive damage of tissues in individual prone to allergens or hypersensitive reactions. So what's happened? Actually, we do have this immoral and what? And the cell-mediated immunity. We have seen this one. Immoral is just to detect the germs that's found in what? In the bloodstream. While cell cell-mediated immunoresponse is when the infected cells are going to now to be killed and then removed from the body. So once this immuno and cell-mediated immunity respond to non-parasitic or non-pathogen particles, such as food, as I have said. Sometimes the food, we can eat the food and then the food is going now to be received by our protein in our body. When they are not received, immunity of the body is going to take that food as what? As foreign material. Then start to fight. Once they do fight, we do get what we call allergic response. We do have what we call allergy. Are we together? So not only that, even this pollen just from the plants. Even the dust, when you are moving and then when the dusts are blowing away, so when you breathe in, when they enter into the respiratory system, sometimes you can get cough. When you cough or sneezing, you see, that's the kind of allergy we are talking about. So another one is fur. Sometimes the fur, those are kind of hairs for example, for the animals like cat. When you smell how those fur are smelled, it can cause you to do what? It can cause the immunity to do what? To respond about that. When the immunity respond about that, what's going to happen? Sometimes this can damage tissues in the individuals. Then allergy or what you call hypersensitive reactions are what? Are produced. Sometimes when you have this allergy, you can see even outside of the skin is seen. Is seen. You can have some skin rashes. For example, when you suffer from malaria, what's going to happen? Sometimes because of that fever, what's going to be produced, it can cause some damaging of the tissues. You can see, even on the ribs, you see somehow they have been destroyed because of what? Of that allergy. You see, that's the allergy we are talking about. It's a kind of showing that immunity of our body is responding. Are you together? Nice. So we do have different allergic response, or what you call hypersensitive response. They are classified into 4 types. We have type 1. Type 1 is also called EGE. Actually, this one is going to be stimulated by what? By this antibody what? Antibody E. We have type 2 hypersensitive responses. This one is going to be mediated by what? By those immunoglobulin G and M. Once they are the one that is responding, so this kind of allergic response or hypersensitive response is called type 2. We do have immunocomplex. This is type 3. So we're going to describe it. We're going to see how they are working. We do have now cell-mediated allergic response, which is called type 4. So those are four types of what? Of allergic response. We can call it even hypersensitive response. When you get what? When there is this production of allergy. So there are those 4 classes. Are you together? So let's start on the class number 1, which is IgE mediated or type 1 hypersensitivity. So once someone is exposed to the allergens, either you get that food, or the fur from the animals, or the dust when you are moving in the way. So what's going to happen? So this leads to the formation of what? Of antibody E, immunoglobulin E. Immunoglobulin E. When this antibody is going to be formed, now it's going to bind to the master cells. Master cells present in large numbers throughout the body. So when we talk about master cells, those are the kind of what? Of white blood cells. Once this antibody immunoglobulin E is binding to the master cells of the body, the actual white blood cells that are found in all parts of the body. So what's going to happen? So first of all, there is presence of what? Of allergens. Those substances that can cause the allergic response. When they are present, actually now there is what? There is this formation of antibody E, which is going to bind on the mast cells, on the white blood cells. So now, finally, to the same allergens cause close leaking of IgE. Then finally, this immunoglobulin E is going now to do what? To bind on what? On the allergens. That's substance that can cause allergic response. You see? First of all, this immunoglobulin E is going to bind where? It's going to bind on mast cells, or those are white blood cells. And then finally, at the second, this one has now to do what? To bind on what? On allergens. Those are substances that can cause allergic response. We have seen like food for the one who don't eat meats or drink milk, can even have difference. So now, leading to their degranulation. So what's going to happen? Here, this one, once it bind on what? On white blood cells, mast cells, or what? Or these allergens, this is going to trigger, to stimulate what you call degranulation. So which means the white blood cells, they are going to release what you call granules. So those granules is like histamine, heparin, and protease. So once those they are released, they can lead to, first of all, vasodilation of the blood vessels. So blood vessels are going to dilate. Once they are dilated, the blood are going to flow slowly. So then there is what? There is low blood pressure. You see, that's one of the effects. Low blood pressure is a kind of allergy. Now, smooth muscles, they are going now to do what? To contract. You see? Now, as I have said, vasodilation, they do decrease what? The blood pressure. Contraction of the smooth muscles of bronchiole affect respiration. That's why. Sometimes this can cause you to sneeze or to cough. Once there is what? There is presence of the dust in the respiratory tract. You see, this is a kind of allergy. And then this allergy is ensured by what? By some antibodies that are going to bind on what? On the mast cells, white blood cells, and then finally on the what? On allergens. That's substance that can provoke allergic response. Then finally, when there is now this decrease of blood pressure, is a kind of allergy. If this affects respiration, the smooth muscles of respiratory tract, when they do contract, they can cause you to do what? To cough or to sneeze. When there is something that enter in your what? Respiratory system, in your respiratory tract. Are you together? Nice. So this, what we have seen, we can even see on this diagram. You see? Suppose those are white blood cells. We do have these B cells. You see? We do have also these T helper cells. And then finally, allergens, like food, like dust, like pollen, like fur. So when they come, they do attach on what? On these white blood cells. You see? Once they attach, you see what's going to happen? There is formation of these memory cells and plasma cells. Once those plasma cells are formed, you see what's going to happen? We do have those granules. You see, allergens, they are still here. Allergens are still here. And then this is our cells. And then finally, there is now what you call degranulation. So this can cause those granules to be released outside. You see? You see how those granules have been released outside. And then finally, if it is blood cells, what's going to happen? There is vasodilation. This can cause what? The decrease of blood pressure. So if it is for these smooth muscles, they are going to contract. Once it is in the respiratory tract, there is now allergic, which is going to be produced. You see? Because those granules, when they are spread everywhere, they can cause what? They can cause different allergic response. Are we together? So this it is somehow clear. So we do have now another allergic response, which is what? Which is ensured by what? By this antibody G and what? Antibody M. So this is type 2 allergic response. When this one happen, it will occur when antigen and antibody complex activate complement protein, which can cause rupture of cells. So when this immunoglobulin G and M are you together? When they cause this, actually when this antibody they do bind with antigens, they can stimulate, they can activate what we call complement proteins like interferons, remember? Interferons, remember? Those are proteins that are produced when this virus have invaded what? Have invaded the cells. When virus infect the cells, those cells, they have now to be killed. They have to be removed out. So that one, it can cause now rupture of those cells that have been infected. So this kind of allergic response is ensured by what? By antibody G and M. Are you together? This occur when there is presence of what? Of antigens that are going to combine with this antibody, and then this causes the rupture of cells. So actually this can happen sometime when there is rupture of those cells. You can even see this inflammation. Can you find the inflammation on the is going to happen? You see, you can have even the womb, kind of the womb on the mouth, for example, when you are suffering from malaria. You see? And then we have number 3, which is immunocomplex, which is type 2 kind of allergic response. This one happen when there is deposit tissues ready to the complements, activating and inflammation. This is seen after insect bites as swelling and reddening locally or in serum sickness of fever and shivering after receiving anti-tetanus antitoxin. So this kind of allergic response, it's going to happen when you have been bitten by what? By an insect, for example. Let's take an example of bee. Bee, remember bee? A bee. When a bee bites you, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You get an inflammation on the skin. The skin is going to swell. Sometimes it's going to swell, and then you are not comfortable. You hear there is something which is not going well on your body. That's kind of swelling, which is inflammation, is a kind of what? Of allergic response. This one is ensured by what you call immunoresponse. Immunocomplex response. So our immunity is going to fight against what? Against sometimes those toxins that found on what? On the those kind of bee, even snake, when they do bite, there is toxins that they do inject in you. So once those toxins reach in the body, immunity of our body is going now to do what? To react. Once it reacts, what you are going to see is a kind of what? Inflammation on your body. Are you together? Nice. So now we have the last one, which is now cell-mediated type 4 hypersensitivity. Actually, this one is going to be mediated by what you call T helper cells, T lymphocyte cells, and macrophage. Once there is a presence of allergens in the body, sometimes those T helper cells and the macrophage, they do engulf. They do engulf. And then finally, they do kill that germs. Once they are killed, let me give you an example. Suppose you have an injury on the body, on the injury. So what's going to happen? So the neutrophil and the monocytes, they do come, then surround what? That womb. that wound. Once they surround it, it's just to do what? To prevent the infection, to prevent the bacteria to come on that wound. So they do surround it, and then finally, they can even prevent the blood to continue flowing. But you will see even inflammation is going to be produced. There is pus that's going to be produced in your wound. That's kind of what? Of allergy. Are you together? Nice. This one, so when we talk about this cell-mediated, actually is that killing what? The infectious cells that have been infected. By what? By T helper cells and macrophage. Nice. So now we do have this what you call generalized allergic reaction, which is also called anaphylaxis. This starts when allergy interdirected into the blood stream. Generalization. It's going now to be spread into the blood stream. This is what you call generalization. Generalized the allergic reaction. So, and then it's absorbed from the gut or the skin. Are you together? It can cause venom from bees. It just when the bees and the ant they do bite you, they can cause this toxin to be spread into the blood. This one, when they spread, they can affect the whole skin. When the whole skin is affected, this one is called generalized allergic reaction. Now we do have what you call localized allergic reaction. This is limited to the specific what? To the specific target cells or tissue organs. This one is going to found on a given cells or organs. It is not going to affect all the body. So this example, you can see allergic of this rhinitis. This high fever. When you suffer like a disease, then you have a fever. That fever is a kind of allergy. Asthma, something like that one. So now, how generalized allergic reaction is going to be different from localized allergic reaction? This is very severe, generalized, because it's going to spread into the blood and then occupy the all parts of the body. It is very severe. You see? It attack my organs response. It is going to affect most of the organs. This one, it is a mild response. It is restricted to target tissues. It is not going to affect all parts of the body. Number two, this can lead to the contraction of the smooth muscles of bronchial, causing what? Breathing problem. This you can find it watery eyes. For example, when there is something that enter into your eyes, there is now tears that are going to be produced. So running nose, when the running nose also is a kind of allergy, but it is localized. It is localized only with the nose. Sneezing, the same. So now here there is dilation of blood vessels. This is decreasing the blood pressure. While here, the small blood vessels begin to rink. They do rink, and then there is now flow of the blood outside. You see? Causing the sudden and dramatic drop in the blood pressure. Yeah. We do have also, may be caused by penicillin, when you get this drug called penicillin or antitoxins. This can be caused by pollen, dust, and fumes. Even fumes. The fumes, when the fumes come, you see you have irritation in the eyes, even the production of the tears. How is it going to be corrected? Is immediate administration of what you call or injection of what you call epinephrine can now restore the blood pressure. Here it is to use antihistamine actually as to treat this kind of allergic. Now we do have antibiotics. What do you understand about antibiotics? This kind of, it comes from the Greek, which means anti meaning against. Then bio, it means alive. So antibiotics are a class of chemicals produced by bacteria and fungi in order to inhibit the growth of other organisms. Are you together? So those antibiotics, they are chemicals produced by bacteria, fungi, and virus to inhibit the growth of other microorganisms. Those are what you call antibiotics. Actually, the antibiotics, they are made from what? From organisms that can cause even diseases. That's how the antibiotics are made. So antibiotics are divided into two categories. We have what you call bactericidal. Bactericidal, those are kind of antibiotics that kill. They do kill bacteria. We have also bacteriostatic. This one, they do slow down the growth of what? The growth and reproduction of microorganisms. So we have this bactericidal, which kill what? Kill bacteria. And then we have also bacteriostatic that can slow down the growth of microorganisms. So those are antibiotics we are talking about. So bactericidal antibiotics prevent the formation of cell wall. Are you together? Cell wall of what? Of microorganisms. And then bactericidal, they do kill now. They do kill this bacteria. So actually, that's how the antibiotics, they work with what? With immunity. Even if immunity, when our immunity become weak, we need to take antibiotics. Are you together? So that can help to work together with our immunity. So before, we have now this kind of resistance. So which means antibiotics can develop resistance. So we are going. This we can talk it by next time. So I hope you continue to do the research about this, and then read more about this, and then the homework of today is distinguish between generalized and localized what? Allergic reaction. This is what you are going to do, and then I hope you will continue even to see the research about this one, even to improve about this resistance. You can even read it together. Thank you so much for attending the lesson. We shall meet by next time. Goodbye. See you.